Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I saw you over there bouncing, and I saw you over there bouncing. You like that intro?
Hey,
You like? I saw you. You like that intro? Don't you? You like that one?
it
Yeah,
was new.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got that new little flavor. We got that new little flavor in it. But yeah, man, look here. We got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. I don't think just for the record, let everybody know, I don't think Leonard's gonna be with us this morning. He's kind of feeling a little under the weather. And so, y'all pray for that brother. Leonard's a good guy, man. So y'all pray for him. He'll be back with us tomorrow, way out Wednesday. He's gonna store up all the energy that he got and come wide open on Wednesday. So way out Wednesday, he will be here. So listen, Anna, how you doing this morning? Tell everybody who you are. My name is Raheem Aljaman. I ain't important. Tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, yes,
I
he
ain't.
is. He makes all this happen. Yes,
You
he
know,
is. He needs to
he make
stop.
all.
Well, he does, but
Mm-hmm.
through you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm Anna from Lunchtime with Anna. I go on from 12 to 1, as you guys know. And that's it. I'm me. I'm here, and I try to be balanced during the show. I try to be fair and look at every aspect as much as possible.
She the balanced one. We go off the scale sometimes. But we got a lot of people that's actually tuning in already, Anna. So we're gonna jump right into this topic. We usually talk a little bit and build up a little bit, but I know we got a lot of people and they saw the title and they want to get into this conversation. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing. And the topic is this right here. Child support is not for you to do your hair. Child support is not set up for you to do. These guys and these people and the girls, in some cases, are out paying child support, and the other individual is taking all the money that they have, that they get in child support, and they're trying to do their hair, get all these fancy clothes, and make themselves look good. When the money should be for the children. The money should go toward the children and for the children. So, Anna, what do you say to that? Child support is not for you to do your hair.
So I want to remind everybody the phone lines are open. 678-381-1973. Please call in. We want to hear your opinion on this. So to answer your question, it depends. And the reason, it depends. Oh yeah. So the reason
called child support. Go ahead.
Okay, you're right. It is called child support, and I'm all for the children, receiving their money. But if you haven't received child support for maybe 12, 13 years, and all of a sudden start receiving it, I think you're entitled to do whatever you want with that money until we catch up. Oh yeah. So what I've done with my oldest is once, and I most mothers will tell you, I don't have to do this if I play both parts or fathers. Usually dads don't put mothers on child support. I don't know why, but they should. It's the law, But with that being said, what I did with my oldest is I actually have her child support payments going directly into her bank account, her retroactive.
Yeah,
that's going good. Directly into her bank account, which it may help her, it may not, for whatever. But he didn't pay till she started. I think she turned 20 when she started paying, so he'll be paid for a while. She'll be seeing that check for a while. So it eventually catches up to you. My younger children's father. I was fortunate, we'll say, because I guess he owed so much. Let's just say the balance was at 100,000. Okay, little bit over that. So what they did was they made him a payment plan of his current that he owes, along with a retroactive balance. What I do is the current I use for their needs. Whatever it is that they need, it goes into their bank account as well. They also have a bank account set up, and I'm sure you guys have heard me say, my children do have bank accounts through credit unions. It's better to, start like that. Anyhow, their money goes directly into the bank account. They use it for Bojangles, as you hear them say. They use it for their clothing. They use it for other stuff. Of course, I support, but I was main provider, I would say, for about 12 years. What I do with the retroactive is I do whatever I want to do with retroactive because you owe me that money. The law says, and I follow the law when it comes to that. Your back pay is your back pay that you never paid that child. So therefore, I had to take that that part as a parent and pay a lot more than the little $60 that you're paying per child. Or for both children, so 30 and 30. So a lot more than the $60 weekly than you were. Weekly, $60 was probably just gas to get them to school. But I do take that for myself because, and most mothers that call and are listening in, they will say the same thing because they had to take that responsibility. You might not agree with me. However, I do give them what is rightfully theirs. I don't take a cent out of their money. Child support is not my money. That's their child support for their needs. That's not even nearly enough. I knew that phone was going to ring quick. That's not nearly enough. So I'm dying to hear what y'all's opinion is on this. Because, you know, like I said, people might not agree with me, and I don't get my hair done like that. I do my own hair, guys. Okay, so I don't mean literally for hair. So let me give you guys an example. I have to drive the children to a private school, which child support pays nowhere near that. That's coming out of my pocket. Okay, so I have to drive them to school. So most of the time, that gas money is that retroactive money that he has to pay. So, you know, like I said, but either way, I don't add it towards their balance owed because I was the one that cared for them for all those years. Make sense?
It does, but it really takes me back. Let me do this. I want to go to this caller. I don't know how much time we have with this caller. We have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, DKM family. John Drummond.
Hey, John, what's going on?
Hey, John.
I'm blessed. How are you this morning, Ryan?
Hey, doing good.
Anna?
Doing
yes,
good.
Hi, good morning.
Glad you called in. And we're talking about this morning. Child support is not for you to do your hair. Sometimes, you know, people get this child support and the money comes and before you know it, the parent is actually out there. She's getting her hair done. She's doing she's balling out on this money. In some cases, yes, they do. They ball out on this money. I've seen it. So, John,
they don't get enough child support to ball out the money.
And what about the ones?
They better be taking care of them kids.
What about the ones that have children with these professional athletes and they're getting $10,000, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month? You think all that money?
That's too much money in child support. That's too much.
We're gonna get into that too. What is too much money? Because it is based on how much money you make, and if this baller, this professional athlete is making all this money, that child is gonna get, because they say it's based on a lifestyle. This child will get like 10, 20. This mother get 10, 20, $30,000 a month. Is all that money going to the child? John, let me hear your heart, brother. Talk to me. Child support is not for you to do your hair.
I feel like this, Ryan. The responsible parent is the one that should recoup or ball out. For whatever reason, the parent that has been delinquent or absent in the child's life, and the point that the courts had to step in order to make sure that there was some type of funds to be given to the parent that has been in the lives 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Through sickness, through all the challenges that a parent has to face. The delinquent parent, that's what support is. Support isn't give the money to the child and let the child have everything that is given. It's a support system. In other words, it's for the lack of support that the delinquent parent has already established that they will not do on their own voluntarily. So the court has to step in and say, hey, you know, you are part of this as well. You need to kick in. But as far as what has to be done with the money, that's for the responsible parent to decide. That's whatever if they can go and buy a car with that child support money, but those kids have clothes, those kids have schooling, those kids have right and wrong morals that they follow, then albeit more power to the responsible parent.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why I slightly differ. I can understand what you're saying. In a car, that is for the family. That is for this parent to take the child where they had to go, because there's places that the children have to go, school or whatever, what have you, doctor's appointment or what have you. I can agree with that. But my thing is, child support is not for you to do your hair. It's not for you. The money that's being paid is for that child, and for you to go out there and get your hair done and get your nails, how they say, get your nails did and all this stuff. That is not what this money is for. This money is for the take care of the child, because the other parent is not there. Now, would you love a perfect situation where both parents could be there? Absolutely. But at the same time, you got to understand that the money that's being paid through the court system is not for you. It's for that child. And so that's why I stand on that. What do you say to that, Emma?
Okay. So you guys know I have no problem with being transparent as possible. Mm-hmm. John Drummond, who I respect highly, he knows this.
That's my man right there. That's my man right there. Mm-hmm.
He will probably understand a lot of my situation and why I feel like, wait a minute, it should not be this easy for you to just get away and do as you please, right? Mm-hmm. As you did for so many years. I have a son that was diagnosed with severe autism. Mm-hmm. Severe. You don't know what that is until you actually have to go to those overnight stays at the hospital. I would call a lot of times to be as transparent as possible. I would, say, I need help with therapies. I need help with this. Was not put on papers yet. I need help. We need to work something out for this child, both children, but this one more. I established with him, and I think I've told you guys this. Mm-hmm. I established with them, just give me $250 a month. We'll work out the insurance. We'll go half and half. I think that was really fair. $500 a month is really fair. Mm-hmm. So since he didn't do any of this, and I don't care because it's public records. Since he didn't do any of this, the judge got so upset because the child is disabled now, mm-hmm. that he ordered him to pay $1,244 a month. Plus his retroactive, because that balance was so high and you never helped. And this was the thing. I didn't take him to court till my youngest was 5 years old. Okay. It wasn't one of those, as soon as you walk out the door. No, I try to work it out. I'm not spiteful. I'm not any of that. I tried to work it out. The judge got so upset. The judge actually went back to, as soon as he left the house, and he said, no, you're gonna be responsible for this child specifically. This really angers me. Mm-hmm. And John will probably understand a lot of what a parent goes through in those situations. So yes, if I need to take $30 that you didn't pay, that I needed for a therapy that I had to pay hundreds for, I'm gonna take it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take it. I'm sorry. It's not like I go get my hair or nails. Look, no nails done. Hair is not done. Trust me, hair is not done. So and again, that stuff doesn't matter to me. And Raheem, either way, my children are first, and I put everything goes to them first, anyways. Mm-hmm. But my point of the matter is that when you have situations like that, and you've been the sole caretaker for over, because I'll say, in my case, it was until my youngest was 12. Mm-hmm. The other one was 13, I think, or it might have been 14 and 15. I just started seeing child support. All those years that you're sitting here having a good time and I'm crying, children are needing, I'm trying to find a way to make it happen. No, if a woman really needs to take a vacation and that child support money starts coming in and you have to do it by yourself, or vice versa, a man, take your vacation. Mm-hmm. You deserve it. It's just my opinion.
But see, the thing about it, even to me, and I could be wrong on this, y'all correct me. Even that back money is still based on the money that goes to the child. John, what do you say to this, man? And I want everybody to call, and I want everybody to call, and y'all share the broadcast. And John, please share the broadcast on your social media as well, because we want everybody to be a part of this conversation, because this is something that I think needs to be talked about, because I don't think it's fair to me. I don't think it's fair to the child to take any penny of that money. If I was in a situation where I was a single father, and the mother paid child support, I don't want any of that money. Every penny of that money is going to go towards some kind of way helping that child. And that's just me. John, what do you say to that, man? Am I off base here?
Here's the reality of that situation, Ronnie. It takes two.
Mm-hmm.
And, both parties are responsible for bringing that human life into this world.
Yes.
Now, for whatever reason that those two parties break, or there's a consequence in which they cannot live in a nuclear family, then someone has a responsibility based on who leaves and who stays.
Mm-hmm.
So the responsible parent, like Anna says, is their home. I think there's too much overvalue of money, especially in a family and a child's life.
Absolutely.
You talked about athletes and wealthy parents. How many times have you heard, and I've been guilty, and I'm not saying I'm wealthy, but I've been guilty of it myself, taking money and thinking that's going to solve a problem, or that's going to make a child happy, or I'll just buy them gifts, but not be there emotionally, not be there, in that child's life when they need you for comfort, for wisdom, for that parental. That's so much more valuable than money.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is the fact that responsible parent. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have an irresponsible person receiving money if they have a child or not. If they receive money and they go do something foolishly, and then the child suffers from it, that's a whole entirely different thing. Mm-hmm. But like I said, if that.
But John, would you agree with me when I say? Hey, John, would you agree?
Child and giving everything that they need. Who's to say what they should do with the money?
But John, would you agree with me when I say to you that in some instances, and not all, there's a lot of parents that's out there doing a wonderful job and using the money for what they're supposed to. But would you agree with me when I say there's an element out there of parents that use that money? They think every time they get it, they use that money, and it's their money. And the child, I've seen situations where the mother, and I'm talking about the mothers right now, where she's from head to toe is perfect. Everything is perfect. And then that child walk out the house and their clothes are like they're falling apart. Like they went somewhere, man, and just collected them from somebody's garbage pail, man. I've seen that.
As well.
That's angry.
That's an irresponsible parent as well. I'm not talking about an irresponsible, like I said, you got irresponsible people on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So if you're irresponsible and you see those kids coming out ragged, you see those kids coming out, don't look like they've been taken care of. There's no love. There's no support with that. Of course, that is wrong. Of course, that is, every situation is different. What we're talking about here is a nuclear family that has been split up. And then the father, because there are a lot of parents out here in this world, man, that don't receive child support from the separated parent, and the separated parent has a great relationship with the responsible parent and the children, because they make sure that those needs are taken care of, regardless if they're in the household or not. The problem is when the separated parent doesn't feel that they're held responsible financially anyway. You understand? If you were in a nuclear family, the father is taking care of certain things and the mother is taking care of certain things. If the father happens to come home with the bacon, sometimes he gives the whole slice to the mother and says, "Hey, do as you will. If you need bills paid, if you got to go do your hair, whatever the case may be, I've done my part." The problem comes when there's separation. The problem comes when the separated parent, and I'm not talking about father or mother, it could be either or. But when the separated parent who leaves the household does not give to the household in any way, shape, or form, and the courts say, hey, wait a minute, that's an issue. That's something that you have to financially take care of. Financial is just an appeasement in the court system. The court can't make you become a better parent. So the best that they can do is financially have you, incur, money in order to give to the responsible parent that is there taking care of the child.
And also your heart with that. There's a lot, and like I said, we kind of stand on the same side, but yet and with different views of this. So what's on your heart right now? Okay, so
John, powerful points, and very maturely spoken. I've seen evilness on both sides. I've seen maturity on both sides. Sometimes, I'll see even posts on Facebook saying, you have the good parent that ends up with the children, and then the bad parent is usually the one, so sometimes you just have people, and I've noticed, like, if they have to pay child support, alimony is another one. Whoever the person that left, sometimes it's women, sometimes it's men. Most of the time it's men. Men are the provider. I think, that's more logical. Okay. I think a lot of them, it upsets them. And I think it's taken overboard. Like my children's father used to say, $500 for 2 kids. And I would say, if you can't make that amount of payment, I understand, we'll work it out. Okay. I don't think you can have it easier than that.
Yeah.
Oh, you just want my money. You're just trying to break my pockets. Well, see, court said something totally different. I guess my patience was virtue at that time, because court said something totally different. I'll tell you, I'm not okay with your child. You are the lowest scum. And look at me, you are the lowest scum. If you are a mother or a father and you are looking fresh and clean, and that baby is not looking good, and there's money being sent to that child, because those children need to be taken care of with that money. That's what that money is for. I don't care.
Yeah. Huh? See that and that's exactly my point. That money belongs to the children. It's not for you to go out there and go out with your girls on the weekend, have a good time. You got this extra money. You're going out there having a good time. You're going to turn up in the club and all. It's not for that. That money. And
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen that many a times. I've seen the mothers looking fresh, and I'll look at the kids, and Raheem, well, John, you've met me personally yourself too. Well, he didn't meet my children, but you know how I am. Like, my children look fresher than I do. You know what I'm saying? My children are taken care of. And whether there was a father who, for 20 years, such as my oldest daughter's father, decided not to pay, guess what? My children are still going to get taken care of. They're still going to get the best of the best. They're still going to, or the best that I can give them. Yeah. They're not going to go outside looking like bombs, because what is that? You know what I'm saying? They're human beings. And if you can't handle that responsibility, and I say this to men and to women, don't have them.
Yeah.
Don't have them. It's that child suffers. Children are mean. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Going to the club, I've seen also that they have like a seafood buffet or whatever for the weekend, whatever it is that they call it. I forget what they call it. Don't do that. Don't do that. But there are cases now where if that parent has been absent and the other parent has had to take responsibility, I don't think you have to ask for those 13, 14 years. I don't think you have to ask me, what am I doing with the money? Because that's none of your business at this point. It's been court order. Now with my court order in particular, my children's father is supposed to pay 60% of their medical insurance bill. That burden doesn't fall on him. Medical and dental. That burden doesn't fall on him. That's something else. I took a responsibility off of him. So you can say, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you're not understanding that I'm also helping you out. And maybe one day you'll realize that one day you'll say, man, she wasn't as bad as I thought she was. She kind of worked with me, even though the court order said this, you know, because these are things that people just think about. It's just the money, 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 money. Do you really think, well, he can't, okay, I'm not going to talk negative, but do you really think that's, he'll be able to, or anybody will be able to maintain the insurance as I have with a disabled child? There's no way. There's no way to cover what has been covered, and those costs are so high. Now, can you sit here and, okay, now, if you're going to the club, not getting medical insurance, you know, just getting everything for free, that's a problem. You have no ambition in life. You have no, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying anybody who uses the system, we've all needed it for leverage one point or another. I've used the system myself, okay? It's the point of whenever you can make that change, buy that child, even if it's a shirt. What do I tell you guys all the time? You can buy name brand clothes on the clearance rack for $3. How about you fill up the closet and you still got money to go out if it's about that. Okay. And but that child is taken care of.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Let me go to John, because Anna's very passionate about this topic right here, and I love it. Absolutely. John, what's on your heart, brother? You know, there's a lot of things, and we talking about, and Anna talked about the parent that's using the money to turn up, and John, you spoke about being responsible, and yeah, that's absolutely true. You have to be responsible, but at the same time, are all of them responsible, John? Are all of them doing the things that they're supposed to do?
Well, Anna spoke of working the system, and us as Black and brown people, we work the system all the time. We have to. I mean, I'm going to ask you a question, Raheem. If you were to get a home improvement loan, or just go to the bank and say you need a loan for a particular thing. So I need a loan in order to take care of some bills, this, that, and the third. Let's say you take a majority of that loan and you take care of all your bills, but there's a pretty nice chunk left over. You gonna call the bank and say, hey man, come get this extra because I've already taken care of what I need to take care of, what I told you with the loan. And in all honesty, me, myself, can't speak for you, but me, myself, guess what I'm going to do?
That's your wife.
Hey, I got
That's right.
Child support is not a lottery. It's not a payday.
Absolutely.
Look at that family when they were a nuclear family. Okay, when they were all together. Were they balling out of control? I don't think so. We're talking about the average lifestyle of an average family. I know there are, you know, exceptions to the rule, like you talk about athletes and stuff, but I'm not particularly talking about that. I'm talking about your average family who, for whatever reasons, they split up. When they were together, they weren't living some extravagant lifestyle. They were basically living within their means. So when one parent leaves that situation, now they're under their means. You understand what I'm saying? Be it for the children, be it for the other parent, be it for whatever circumstances.
Absolutely.
So now that parent has left, the court system steps in, and like I said, supplementation is what we're talking about. In other words, it's a supplement. It's not meant to take care of all that person's problems. It's not meant to take care of a specific need. It's child, listen to the last word, support.
Exactly.
Not child taken care of, not child get all their needs attended to. It's support to help the responsible parent continue on with what they need to do with their lives.
And that's where I stand.
And it says help this parent with that responsibility.
And that's where I stand, John. And you said it perfectly, man. Child support is to support to support that child. And but far too often, and we made mention of this a couple of times. We got a few callers. I definitely want to get to the callers. Far too often, it's not used for child support. It's used for the turn up. It's used sometimes for the present the present parent, you know, for lack of a better term, to make themselves and to upgrade themselves, and the children are suffering. That's not what it's for. If you're going to take this money and you do deserve it. Yes, you deserve it because you're there with that child all the time, every day when the child is sick, going through whatever the child is going through the schools, the homework, and all the different elements. You deserve it, but it's not for you. It's for the child. We got a call. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Cassandra.
Good morning.
Good.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying, I was a young mother, a teen mother, but I actually went to school, continued in school, and worked. I was in high school when I had my son, so I wasn't really expecting him to help too much. But I worked, and I was going to school to take care of my son. As he got older, as we got older, I was like, okay, he'll pitch in, he'll help and, try to do something. Then the state got involved because, of course, I had to get some help with Medicaid to take care of his medical needs, which he had. So it got to the point where I never wanted to take him. I felt like, why should I have to take you to court?
Absolutely.
Your child. Why do I have to go through a system tell you to be a man to step up?
Absolutely.
So never did. I never said, and I want to say this, and with all my heart, I mean this, even though he did not do his part, I never spoke in with him in front of my son. One day, my son can tell you to this day, I never, even though he would not help, he wouldn't do anything to help my son. He never paid one day of child support. I never said a negative word about him. And my son learned later how he was. And, they got that, as adults are adults. But we got to make sure that in our wanting to get the support, that we don't tear down that as a parent. That's huge to me. I made it happen. I'm like Anna. I made it happen for my children, regardless of what he did. But I wanted them to have a relationship.
Good deal. Kurt, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, bro.
Good deal. Kurt, what we're talking about this morning is child support is not for you to do your hair. Child support is not for you to do your hair.
There's background noise.
Yeah, we got a lot of background noise. Let me see. It might be.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Kurt line. Kurt, we got a lot of background noise coming from you, brother.
I had something going, but
okay. It's not. Yeah, but child support is not for you to do your hair. What do you say to that, Kurt?
Child support ain't to do your hair.
I
mean, that's common sense. It's not for your. It is not for your pleasure. Child support is not meant to. I've never had this problem, but I deal with people all the time. Child support,
can it be abused, Kurt?
Yeah, child support is not meant to. It's not meant to change your living status. If your intention is okay, so you want your son or your daughter to live like their father. This is just hyperbole, but is it okay to say that if that's the case, then why your son or your daughter can't go stay with the father? If the father's living better than you, why can't your son or daughter go and stay with the father?
If that's your desires for the child to live better.
If that's your desire for the child to live better, and you and the father don't work out, then I always want to know when did child support become law, or when did it become law, and where did it become law at? I never really thought about that. I'm gonna research that.
That's good. That's good. Let me go to the phone line. We got Frank. Frank, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey,
how's everybody?
Doing good. Frank, we're asking the question. We're making the statement that child support is not for you to do your hair, and we spoke about the young ladies that actually get up and what they do. They use that money for their own personal gain. They use that money to build themselves up, and they look, man, like $100 bill, and a child come outside looking like a half or 2 cents. Frank, child support is not for you to do your hair. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't think child support is the issue. I think the issue is the person that you choose to have a child with. I mean, anybody that will put themselves before their child, whether you're giving them the money or not, they're not going to take care of their responsibility. My first marriage didn't work. You know, I was young. I made a lot of mistakes, and I found myself in that situation where I kept my children all summer, and their mother kept them during school. And the one thing that I realized about child support is that child support was never enough. You know, I didn't have to pay child support when I had them in my care. I never stopped paying child support. Because the one thing that I realized early on is as their mother went and as her conditions went, so went them. So if she was struggling, they were going to struggle when they were with her. I'm sorry, but the thing, if you will.
Go ahead.
But the thing that we have to look at is, who are we having children with? You know, that's who is this person? You know, and we really, you know, sometimes things just don't work out. Things aren't what you think they are. But when we talk about these people that will, you know, if by the time that I give money, because at the end of the day, this is just money. And your money goes with all the other money. And what it's going to do is going to contribute to that household. And if part of that is, you know, her upkeep, also, you know, let her do her hair, let her buy some clothes, as long as she's taking care of my kids. I don't care what she does with the money. But you know, we want to evaluate it a little too tough. But the thing that we're not evaluating is, who is this person that you laid down with and had children that would allow you, you know, that will forsake your kids for their hairdo? That's the issue.
Good deal. We got a couple other callers. Donna, good morning. Donna, how you doing, sir? And that is an issue. It's just a huge issue. Donna, good morning, sir. Too soon. Hey, brother, I can barely hear you. Okay, we got another call from the 404 area code.
Yeah.
Oh, Donna, okay. Oh, go ahead, Donna. Go ahead, Donna.
Yeah. I said, what kind of conversation y'all got? This can be helpful. Because, you know, I'm kind of like, I think it was fake. I don't care what they do with the money. I really don't. It didn't matter. Because if she riding good, they riding good. She'll have no business walking because you're out the house. I mean, the mom should. I don't know. It can go in different ways. I know that some, you look at the child and the child is suffering, and the mama's nails done, her hair is done, her feet are done. Something is wrong with that.
Yeah, something ain't right with their picture.
The child shouldn't be hungry. Child shouldn't have holes in their shoes and holes in their pants. Well, you know, they buy pants with holes in them now. But it can go both ways. But you know, child support is not enough. It really isn't. You still, after you better off keeping the court system out of your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. Just take care of what you're supposed to.
Okay.
And you'll be better off because they take a percentage of that out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not getting all of it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Processing fee and handling fee and
Yeah. And then when the child needs shoes, you still don't have to go over there and go buy them some shoes because what you're sending them is not enough.
mm-hmm.
It's just not.
You
might buy food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can go two ways.
Exactly.
Two ways to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Anna.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing. Hi, Donald. Absolutely. I agree that this can go both ways. Shame on any parent that really does put their needs before their children, because once you bring a life into the world,
mm-hmm.
They're first. You're no longer first. Okay. Then you should have thought about that before you created a child. I will start with that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case, like I said, there's circumstances, and I've been very transparent. I didn't see child support for my children till I think it might have been 13, 14. I just started seeing it.
Yeah.
The balance was so high. Family would send back letters. It was pretty rough trying to get $1.
Mm-hmm.
You have a disabled child in the house. Not that that's an excuse, but it makes it already more harder than raising a regular child, because now you have all these therapies and all this stuff. And then not only that, you have children that are used to a certain lifestyle. So you make sure that they are, dressing like, with my special needs son, he's got this thing with Nautica. I don't know if you guys noticed, he's always got a Nautica shirt on, loves Nautica. And child support, the little bit of money, that can never pay for that. But I feel like this: if you've been a parent that has taken care of your child and putting that child's needs first, and more than likely the money's still going to go to the kids, because I already know if you're that kind of parent, it's going to probably happen anyway. However, if you're that parent who has been paying for all those needs all those years, and then all of a sudden it starts coming back, and then they're paying the retroactive, that retroactive belongs to the parent, whoever that parent was taking care of the child, not the current, because the current should always go to the child. It should go into their bank account and for their needs, especially at teenage years. Like when they're younger, you can pretty much decide.
And are we talking about like the arrears?
Yes, the retroactive.
Okay.
So the back pay. So the back pay, I do. I don't deny. I take for me because I had to supply that. I had to supply that part for there. If I showed you guys receipts for speech, physical, and OT alone, it's unaffordable. He could never pay enough for all of that. And a lot of times I had to pay it out of pocket. I would call. I would say, look, let's work out a deal. Can you pay half? Or even if you can't pay half, can you pay something? It's a lot of money. I can't afford it. So if you guys recall me telling you guys in the past, I had to work 3 jobs. That's why he refused to pay $1, period. So I don't sympathize. And if I need to spend, which I don't get my nails done, don't get my hair done. But if I need to spend $30 or whatever that retroactive is to do something for me, I don't see a problem with a parent who has been there for that child in every possible way and did not get that assistance.
Okay.
I'm absolutely on that parent side.
Okay. We're gonna talk about that and address that as well. And not everybody may be on the same page with you in regards to that, Anna. But we're gonna open it up. We're gonna talk about it. But right now we have another call from the 404 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Mr. Muldrow. Can y'all hear me? The truck driver. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? What's your name again?
Laverne.
Hey, Laverne. Man, what's going on, Laverne? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Y'all got a good topic going on. I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
I've been through that years ago with my kids. I'm listening to y'all, and I'm hearing y'all. We're hitting some good topic. But here's the thing. First thing I want to let y'all know, some women, okay, first of all, who says that, and this is not to create a problem. The first thing, who says that a man is automatically supposed to pay child support?
Absolutely.
Okay, listen to this. The man and the woman, they had the child. I understand if the woman gets the child, if the kids are staying with the child. But the thing is, I've met and I've seen them 53 years of living. In my life, I've seen some women, and the female right there, she's hitting some good points. And I want to say this about female too, and I'm not being male chauvinist. I have met and seen some females who, because they don't have a reason to put the man on child support.
Absolutely.
Out of addiction. Just because the man moved on, he's doing well, he has another female. I've seen women put child support on that man for that reason. And no, that's not right. They're not having no problem. No, everything is kosher. But women will do that. The second thing.
Men too.
South Carolina. I tell you not. I was paying child support, right? And I used to drive cab. And I met this lady who worked at the place where all the child support stuff too. And I picked her up. And I knew that she looked a little she looked angry. And we started talking. I said, what's going on? I said, you all right? And she said, I just quit my job. And I said, why you quit your job? She told me out her own mouth. This is one of the women that worked in the child support place. She said, I quit because I couldn't take it no more, because the only thing that South Carolina is doing, they are using the child support system for gaining money. And
absolutely.
I'm wondering why in the world, I even put myself on child support, to keep getting in trouble, because I knew the woman that I dealt with. After the fact, I finally saw how she really was. So I went up there to put myself on child support, and they locked me up. Okay, but the woman told me the reason why she quit was because the judges and the child support system, they were all in cahoots. They were locking everybody up
absolutely
left to right. And I said, why are they doing that? She said, money. It's a money thing. And I was like, wow. And I don't agree. And I don't agree with the last caller who said, and somebody else said, they don't care what the woman do with the money. I do care what the woman do with the money. But the simple fact is, like somebody said, if I see my kids, like the female said, if I see my kids and I'm paying you child support, you got your nails done, you got your hair done, you out there turning it up, and my son got a snotty nose, dirty clothes, tear up shoes and stuff, he ain't looking nice, but you looking good, I got a problem with that.
Absolutely.
I got a problem with that. And the female who I had kids by, we went into court, and the judge set a payment for me to pay. And the female, her mouth dropped when she saw how much the judge told me to pay. And the judge looked at it, and the judge said, look, ma'am, the name of this is child support.
Exactly.
It's not to support you. It's to support the child. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the child support system that y'all got to understand and know what's going on. Because that child support system in South Carolina is rigged. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it short so y'all can finish. I like this stuff.
Hang on. You ain't got to go to where. Hang on. Anna, what's on your heart?
Okay. So what was that caller's name?
Laverne.
Laverne?
Uh-huh.
Thank you for saying that, because I meant to talk about that earlier, and it's true. I know a few people that work within the system, as I have a human justice organization myself. So a lot of things you see that other people don't see. I need, for the spiteful women, the spiteful men, the people that are just doing it just to turn it up or whatever the case may be. Again, don't bring them in the world if it's for all the wrong reasons, or just because you had a wild night. We'll just say that, and then want to put the father through the system or whatever, because he's left, because he's found another woman, whatever the case may be. You should have thought about that before you had kids. Okay. With that being said, I want you guys to understand something. Child support has their own system. That's why it's family court, same as divorce court, alimony, all of that has their own system. Okay. The judges make money out of each case. The attorney that works for the state makes money out of each case. The father is, or usually the father, I'll say, they're slapped on with an interest bill most of the time, not every time, if they haven't paid. In my case, my ex was very fortunate. I did help him out when it came to that, when we did go to court. Although he did not pay, I still helped him out. They do slap an interest rate on the father, which does not go to the child, which does not go to the mother, which goes directly to the system. I want you adults to think about something, and even you teenagers, I wish some of my mentor friends were on the line today, to think about something. It's no joke. Try to cooperate with each other. I tried for at least 5 years with my two youngest. With my oldest, I tried for 6 years before I even put them on papers. And that's unheard of many times. Women go right away to the court system, and a round of applause to any father that goes ahead and puts himself on papers before it even becomes a problem, if they already see which way it's going. Bravo to you, okay? Because it shows where your heart is at. However, with that being said, try to cooperate with each other, because like I said, even with my exes, both of them, it's court ordered that they had to have insurance for the kids. I never bothered them once. All I asked for was that extra money so that the kids can have things like sports, because I took care of everything else. Sports, if they want to go to a movie, if they want to do an extra thing, that's all that money is for. One was slapped with a lot more child support because he wanted to be a deadbeat with a disabled child, which is worse, I think, than not taking care of your regular child. I think it's like a double whammy. It did not sit well with that judge. However, please remember one thing, people. The system is not here to help the mother. The system is not here to help the child. The system surely wants to put the dad in jail. And then these are our brown and our black men, majority, in jail. I want you ladies to understand this, because I'm saying it from a woman's perspective. But at the same time, as a father, you need to be responsible and take care of your responsibility. And if that mother needs, okay, can we go and go get our child clothes because you're with somebody else, do not bring that person or anything along. Deal with your child, deal with your responsibility, deal with what you guys had going on before any, before anything that has came after the fact, if that makes sense. Take care of that first. So I'm passionate about this one.
I see. Curtis, I'm going to Curtis, then I'm going to Cassandra, and then I'm going to Frank. So Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm just sitting here thinking, man, and I can't. Well, I know why I haven't did it, because look, I'm a sinner, and I done fell short the glory of God many a time. But I thank God because I don't have that problem, man. I thank God my ex-wife never went down the child support. If she told me one time, she went down there. That was some girlfriends of hers, and they were talking whatever. And one of the girlfriends talked her to go down there. So she goes down there right here, get the paperwork, whatever, got sat down, see the work or whatever. So when she sat down with the worker said, they gotta ask, well, you can help me out with this. Is he inputting anything? Is he giving you anything? Blah, 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 this, that, and the third. They look at her income, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. So she said, after she finished giving out the information, the worker looked at her and said, McNeil,
I wouldn't put them on papers.
This. and he doing this right here. And this is what you make, Miss McNeil. And she said, yeah. And said the worker told her, well, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It might be wiser for you to allow for this paperwork to just go in the trash can. You just walk out.
And act like you never came.
If I file this paperwork, he's gonna be mad to give you way less than what he's giving you right now, because she was. But in reality, see, here's the thing. Here's what I always believed in. I always believed in that no matter the situation, no matter the circumstances, no matter what's going on, a man's woman should always be in a position to make more than him. She should always be in a position to have better things than he have. She should always be in a position to live a better life.
Absolutely.
That's through death, separation, whatever. Put all personal foolishness to the side. So I made it a point throughout my first marriage to make sure, and I aided and assist my ex-wife with everything that she could possibly have to live a better life, or everything that she could possibly get to live a better life. When we separated, I said, you know what? I don't want you to pay for anything dealing with school, to pay for any clothes, to pay for any extracurricular activities. Now, if they decide to do something last minute, that's different.
Absolutely.
My responsibility. However, if she called me and said, yeah, you know, I took the boys to the mall and, you know, they hit me pretty heavy. Oh, wow. How much you spend? I spent $400. Oh, I'll go to the bank and transfer $100. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not transferring the whole $400 because that was last minute stuff, but I'll transfer the $200. But all I'm saying is, as a man dealing with this situation, have to put yourself out there to be willing to do everything needed so that, hey, look, you go down there and file that child support if you want to. Go down there and file it, because see, you're gonna go down there and file it, and them people gonna give you them numbers that's gonna come back, and them numbers ain't gonna represent the numbers you getting now, baby.
Absolutely.
But see, what happens, Raheem, from a therapeutic point of view, people put their own personal emotions and feelings in front of the need-based necessity to take care of a child. They show us this thing where say children cost $474 a month to raise. That's crap. That is that don't account for the fact if you got a greedy child. Don't account for the fact that the price of clothes go up all the time. I remember one time, man, we used to go to the Sports Mart and buy a nice pair of Nikes for $30. We can barely find a pair of Nikes for $30.
Where you gonna find them at? Where you gonna find them at? Good deal.
And Goodwill.
Exactly. Good deal. Boy, look. Let's go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now?
I just want to take this from another perspective. Okay, if you're married to someone and you get a divorce, of course, that's, you know, it's drama that goes on with that, and you should be able to prayerfully work it out. I know women can be very bitter at times and vindictive as a woman and deal with women every day. I can see that's what they do. But I'm really concerned about how, because most of the children that are in the child support system are single parents. No marriage, is you know, single mothers by themselves. And those women a lot of times don't think about the fact that beforehand what is going to happen when doggy dog decides he just want to hit a booty call, and then you end up with a baby. And women think that babies are going to keep men with them. That's a lie from the pit of hell.
Yes, ma'am.
Once that baby gets here, he gonna move right on to Suzanne, right down the hall or whatever, right down the street from you, and he's going to do the same thing again. And it really amazes me that I have literally sat and heard especially young men say, "Oh yeah, man, I got 8 of them over there in the hood. I got 8 of them." Really? And you're proud of that? And you're not taking care of the system is taking care of your children? So we have to educate our young men and young women.
Absolutely.
Women mainly, but we need to educate young men what it is about wrapping it up, and that way we can save a whole lot of trouble with the system. And you don't have to talk about she ain't no good, she got me down there. No, because you want to take care of your own child. That's why I see why some of these women have to do that. So I just want to say women need to be more responsible. You lay what them old people say, you lay with a dog, you flees. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really need to be, everybody needs to be more careful when it comes to children.
And it goes right back to responsibility. Be responsible.
Absolutely,
be responsible.
Responsible.
But a lot of times people have a hard time, Cassandra. That moment they get caught up in that. What they say, they get caught up in that moment. They know what the intentions were. They know what it was. They didn't go over. They didn't go over Susan's house at 10:30 at night to look at no movie.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It can be midnight or it can be 8 o'clock in the morning. It's about a booty call. So we just have to be, women have to be more careful. And
9 months later.
And if we follow the protocol, God's protocol, then we would do better. But people aren't doing that. They're doing what feels good.
They've stepped away from the center of the core of what God.
Absolutely.
They stepped away from the center of the core, and 9 months later, a child is there, and the person that did it said, "I don't care." Y'all know the old rap song. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Frank, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Well, I'm looking at my notes because I've been quiet here. So, the one thing I want to say to any of the men that are out there listening is this: child support does not have to be your future. You need to fight for joint custody.
Absolutely.
You won't have to pay down. Just
there you go.
Get joint custody, get a lawyer, take care of your children, demand it. Don't give up. Okay? And take care
Finally.
The other thing I want to say is that when we spoke about, we don't care what the mom does with the money. The thing that was hinged on that is as long as she's taking care of our kids.
Yeah.
Don't miss that part, because that was the thing. If you're taking care of business, what you do with money, it doesn't matter, because you're managing your money. You're managing your money, the money that I send you, any other money you get. You're managing it all. You're taking care of your business. I'm not going to try to run your household from somewhere else. I had an opportunity to do that. I messed that up. So I'm not going to try to dictate what you do with any group of money. And then I want to say this. Anna said something, and I pray that all of you guys heard this. She said on multiple occasions that she was raising a special needs child. Now, I don't know why people are so angry when they fail. You know, you fail in a relationship, now you're angry at that person. Okay, sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's both of y'all's fault. Absolutely. But let's take the anger out of it. Now let's take into consideration Anna is raising a special need child. That means that she's doing a lot more. And not only that, her stress level is a lot higher. So let's give Anna another name. Let's call Anna Kim. If Kim is raising a special need child and she's doing everything that she has to do every day to take care of that child, guess if that's my child too, guess what I want to happen with Kim? I want Kim to go get her nails done. I want Kim to go get a massage. I want Kim to go to the gym. I want Kim to have some time to herself, because if she does not have that time, Guess who is going to suffer because of it?
Yep.
The child.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's at a place where mentally she's a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And if she doesn't get some time to herself, the child is going to suffer. So when we're sitting back and we're being vindictive and we're saying, I don't want her to have nothing. I don't care if her car do break down. I don't care if she ever get her hair done or if this or that happens. Guess who's going to pay? Your kid.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's
So
good.
you need to think a little deeper than just your little emotion.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good. John, what's on your heart, brother?
Disagreeing 100% totally with Frank. In conversations like these, it's very easy to criminalize the victim. The victim here is the mother who is taking care of her children without the help of that person that helped bring that child into this world. You know, I understand extreme circumstances, and I understand the objection to the rule. Of course, there are situations where irresponsible people take money that's supposed to be meant for one thing and they do crazy things with it. I get that. But the other side of that coin is, what about the absent thing? If he's living an affluent lifestyle, you see him all over the city rolling around in his brand new caddy, and you know what I'm saying? He's not contributing to his welfare. Then what about him? What about the mother that, you know, my wife, we're separated now, but when I first met her, she has 3 children, and her son is borderline Asperger, and she has a daughter that is severely autistic, like Anna's son. And just when I met her and see the struggles that she was going through, you know, working hard every day, I noticed the children never had any bad clothes. They always had brand new shoes. They were well mannered. Just some great kids. And, you know, over the 10 years that I grew to know them and just see like the type of mother she is, her baby's father has owed her child support for over like 20 years now. She hasn't seen us.
There you go.
And then when you think of people like that,
Worst deadbeats.
Think about the struggles that this woman had to go through on her own before she met me. You know, we're separated, but I still look out for her and her kids. Just on GP, because that's the type of man, and I think that's the type of man I was raised to be. And I'm not trying to sound you know, chauvinistic, but I'm just saying, you know, a man has a place. I'm not the type of guy, if we break up, I'm taking all my stuff out the house. Or I'm going to leave you in a situation where you left there and I left. It's just not right, you know? And so, you know, like I said, there are extreme situations, and I get what you're saying, like, you know, is child support meant for a woman to do her hair? No, of course, we know that. Mm-hmm. But if that woman has struggled all the time she's been away from that person, and she was in a better situation when they were all together, and then that person leaves, that person has a responsibility, irregardless if the money goes here, there, anywhere. That person has a responsibility to support. And that's what support means. Support doesn't mean go do the job. If you ask your homie to come over and help paint your house, hey man, come help me. So he's coming to support you. He's not coming to do the job by himself. He's just lending a hand. And the court system is demanding that you lend that hand to that person.
That's good. Absolutely. That's good. Let me go to Laverne. Laverne, you with us? Laverne, are you there? I think he's unmuting his phone.
Yeah, I'm here.
Good deal. Laverne, and I'm hearing what everybody is saying, and everybody making some great points, man. And this is good. I love this conversation. But in the course of the conversation, are we giving the present parent a pass to use that money any way that they want to? Are we in some kind of way, are we giving them a pass?
No, I mean, no, I'm not giving them a pass. The thing is, if
Me
the woman
neither.
puts money, and I hear what the man saying,
Mhm.
but the thing is, with me, I'm speaking from vast experience, been that, done that. I'm not speaking something off my head because whatever I think. I'm speaking from experience.
Mhm.
No, it's not giving the woman a pass, but like the female said, the young lady, she said,
Anna.
some women, they do abuse the money that they get. Like I said, I'm from South Carolina, and like I say, women got some, but not all women. Let me clear that. Not all women are like that, but you have a lot of women that abuse that money. They abuse that money. It's supposed to be used on the child. This thing about, well, I'm taking care of the child. I'm doing everything for the child. Let me tell you something. If the father is a good father and whatnot, and you gonna do that, why not that woman go to court and give the child to that good father?
Absolutely. I agree.
And you got a good father, and he's taking care of the child, paying child support, going over and beyond, and so forth. If this woman, if she feels like that, and that father is good, the one that's paying the child support, why not that woman give the child to the kid, and we just alleviate that?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not giving no women no pass. I'm not giving them no pass on that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Curtis was saying earlier. That's what Curtis was saying earlier about, if that be the case, let the child, if your whole objective, is to make sure that the betterment of the child, get a child to the father. If you feel like he got a better situation, if his living situation is better than yours, if you're coming to Yana, and if yours is not right, and why not give that child to the father until you get yourself in order, and then come back together. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? Anna, coming to you next.
Well,
is it selfishness? Curtis, let me ask you this. Is it selfishness that the mother will not give that child to the dad if the dad is in a better situation? Is it selfishness?
Well, it's not only selfishness,
mm-hmm.
It's ignorance too. You know, like
Absolutely.
like when you have, I'm sorry, ladies, and I don't want nobody to misconstrue what I'm saying or think I'm disrespecting y'all or anything like that, because at the end of the day, I know what my faults were. You know what I'm saying? And I know what my responsibility is. So the one thing, when I close my eyes and die, when I close my eyes and hopefully I go from labor to reward, one thing God will credit me for is saying, you know what? You was a good father. You know what I'm saying? No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But for real, Raheem, like, come on. If you would, any person, man or woman, would forsake better living for their child so that they could get paid, receive funds. You ain't gotta be a woman, you could be a man doing the same thing. But if you would forsake your child's ability to have a better life, just so you could have a better life too, then to me that's not only selfishness, but that's ignorance.
Absolutely.
Let your child, if your living situation is not better and you think that his is better, you let your child go and stay with their father, or and vice versa. You know, got dudes that's going through this process, and honestly, they doing the same thing. Like they significant other or they baby mama might be a 6-figure, 7-figure type of person. So now I want the kids, and I'm going. What was the boy that was the boy that eventually he married Britney Spears?
Featherline.
Kevin Featherline. I think he took Britney to court like 3 times, bro.
He took custody of the kids and everything, and
custody, and then he kept going back.
But he messed her up
because he wanted more money. You see what I'm saying? But he did her dirty, but all at the same time. Come on, bro. Like, at the end of the day, I remember a woman told me this, Raheem. A woman at my church. We was all having Sunday dinner at her house, and they got on the topic of child support. And she said, "Oh, I'm gonna collect mine. I'm gonna get mine." She said, but all at the same time, she said, I don't want this to be misconstrued. She said, at the end of the day, guess what? If I want to live in a house, I got to pay the rent. If I want my lights on, I got to pay the gas and electric. If I want, you know what I mean? If I want groceries in my refrigerator, I got to buy groceries. So that's not my mandate to him. I should not be looking for him to be giving me money to help to help me take care of my responsibility. Because with the child or without the child,
Absolutely.
gonna need a place to stay.
Absolutely.
So lights in my place and food in my refrigerator. So
Yeah, it's a lot. It's heavy, brother. It's heavy. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now?
I'm in total agreement with everything that I'm hearing, because we're really being informative today about, both sides, the good and the bad of both sides. And I'm one of those women that I believe that if a man is more capable and willing to have his children, I think he should have the same opportunity that a woman does. Because just because you had a baby doesn't make you a mother. I say that all the time. Just like
Absolutely.
a baby doesn't make you a father. So if you have a man that is willing and able to take care of his children, then he should have the same opportunity. Because I've seen some sorry mothers in my days, and I deal with women every day. I declare they don't want to be mothers. They want the money, the financial part of it. You understand what I'm saying? They want that man, understand? But the children, that was not an equation. So it goes both ways. And we, like I'm going back to it again, we all need to do better. Whatever side of the fence you on, it's all about the children.
Absolutely.
Taking care of the children.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have another call. I think it's Bishop. Bishop, are you with us?
Oh, good morning. How's everyone?
Good morning.
Listen, we're talking about this morning. Child support is not for you to do your hair. Child support is not for you to do your hair. Bishop, what do you say to that, man? You got some situations where, and we're speaking on both sides of the coin, but there's some situation where the young lady would take that money for the embetterment of herself, not necessarily the embetterment of their child. What do you say to that?
I would say, amen. The money is not for them to go get their hair done or nails done or buy a fancy car, since he's paying so much money into child support. But it's supposed to be there for the needs of the child. So they have a very decent upbringing, clothes-wise, even educational-wise.
Absolutely.
A lot of times I heard this one speaking, you lay down and get the baby. What is your overall motive? Was that a love child or was that an oops child? And regardless to whether it be a love child or oops child, as some would say, there's still a moral obligation for the father and a greater responsibility for the mother to make sure they do the right things for the children.
When you said that, what came to my mind is that song "Oops Upside Your Head." That's y'all. Let me go. Let me see. Frank, what's on your heart, Frank? Let me go back to Frank. Kurt, center yourself, brother.
Man, I love words that come from my pastor spoke a word once, and it was, every once in a while you get one of those nuggets that will help you through life. And
absolutely.
He made this statement. He said that life does not respond to fair, it responds to balance. And a lot of times we look at what's fair, but we need to have balance to understand what is right. And as we're speaking about this, and I know I mentioned it beforehand, but this thing is so broad, and the child support system, broken relationships. There are going to be people that neglect and abuse everything. I don't care what you're doing. If you have anything where you're involved with flawed folk, you're going to have different people that abuse that relationship, that friendship, whatever it is, you know, just because we're flawed. But prayerfully, when you bring innocent children into things, there's somebody. You know, I love Cassandra. You can just hear the nurturing, loving woman in Cassandra when she speaks of children. Not just, and I need you to hear what I'm saying right now. Not necessarily her kid or her situation. Just
Absolutely.
children. If we would just stop for a minute thinking about, okay, but if I pay this amount, I'm not going to be comfortable. Or if I do this, she's going to have too much. Stop that. It's about the kids, man. It is about the kids. And if you have to be uncomfortable, any man, you know, right now, it is no way in the world that I'm going to be driving a new car and my wife's driving a hoopty. As a man, that's just not in me.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. My kids are not going to be being transported around in a piece of junk that could break down on them. And I'm in the lap of luxury. I'm not going to be eating lobster tails, surf and turf, and they're barely eating. That's not going to happen. So we need to get beyond our own creature comforts, beyond our own hurt. And you know, absolutely, there are people, men and women, out there that are not doing what they're supposed to do. But guess what? You cannot label a gender with that behavior. That's just people. There are great women that are doing a great job, and there are great men that are doing a great job. People that are doing great. We got to quit finding ourselves in this situation.
Good deal. Yeah.
You know, where we're raising kids separately in spite of what God's intent was.
Good deal. Good. Anna, what's on your heart?
Wow. You know, every one of you guys, and especially the men on this panel, kudos to Curtis for your wife not even wanting, your ex not even wanting to put you on child support, because I've seen cases like that where they've actually, the men were paying a lot more and then they went to court and they were like, $200, that's all? I was paying $1,000. Thank God. So it happens. And I've seen cases like that where it happens. The mother was just wanting more and more and more, which that should never be the case. I recommend, and Cassandra, I just love your words of wisdom always. I highly recommend for both men and women to try to have joint custody of the child, where we meet halfway, where there has to be no child support, because you know what? We can help each other to raise the child, because that's what it's all about, right? It's not about me. It's not about the other adult, whatever. It didn't work out. It is what it is, but it's about that child and their needs. When you have a mother or a father that doesn't put you on papers for many years, you've kind of put yourself in a situation that's not good for you, you know, because you're going to, retroactive. What is it that you guys call it? The retroactive, there's another word you guys use on the back pay.
You're talking about the arrears.
Yeah. So what, you know, you put yourself in that situation. And again, when you have at least a mother that's not asking for, or a father that's not asking for certain things. But I've noticed that, and I've been in past relationships where the mother lost custody, the father had custody of the kids. They never took the mother to court for child support.
Yeah.
Because they felt that I was like, well, I think that you have to ask for child support. She would ask for child support. Well, no, but you know what was even crazier about that? This man paid child support for both of those kids till they were 18. Never took her back. So she's in cases like that. I'm like, it just has to be that men just don't think, or they don't have the right person there by them to help them, guide them, or the right advice. Because I think it takes a strong woman to be like, but some men just don't care. They're like, I don't care. It's for my children anyway. So kudos to you men that are like that.
Absolutely.
John, I wanted to tell you, you are even more amazing than I originally thought you were, because I didn't realize that these are, you know, maybe to you, your babies, but your stepchildren. That takes a powerful man, because that's not an easy situation. I'm a mother of a disabled child. I know what those meltdowns are. I know what those therapies are. It's not easy for anyone. So, man, this panel, I thought this was going to go pretty ugly either which way. I was expecting a girl to call and say, oh yeah, it is all mine. And I was expecting that. I was expecting men to go the other way. But I am really amazed at some of these actions that, or a lot of these actions that many of you have taken. And Cassandra, for not putting the father on child support. Sometimes we're too young. We don't know any better to put that person on child support. They're not going to know what to do, you know, when we do mistakes when we're younger. So it's things to think about. And I'm just pretty happy at seeing the maturity. But my recommendation to everybody is try to, and this is the youth. And I'm going to see if I can start mentoring with this as well, because you just gave me an idea. And many of us should get together to do this. All
right, preacher.
No, but try to do mutual custody to where you don't have to go through the courts. Because remember, it's all money. It's all money. And you know how much they make? About $80,000 out of each family. $80,000 that happen to go back and forth to court and everything else. So think about that and tell your children this, your nieces, nephews, your neighbor, whatever, because we need to teach, especially our brown and black community. We need to teach each other this.
All right, let me keep this thing going, because Anna, she's so passionate. Anna, I'll talk for 45 more minutes, boy.
I sure will.
Let me go through. John, let me ask you this question, John. Child support. And with John, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Child support. We're talking about child support is not for you to do your hair. Now, what if, and it's a hypothetical situation, but it has happened. A man is doing what he's supposed to do. He's paying child support 16 years. Then he go and get a DNA and find out that the child is not his. Is he entitled to get that money back?
Yes, definitely. The fictional characters we've already discussed in this conversation, meaning the woman who's taking the money to get her hair done, and the father who the court system has stepped in and demanded child support. That's the court stepping in because that person isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So yes, like I said, you have extreme circumstances. That what I believe, which is to a fault, I'm one of those people that look at situations as positively as I possibly can. Of course, we live in a real world, and we know that there are circumstances, you know, contrary to every rule. And that particular question you just asked me, of course, Raheem, if a man has been doing everything he needs to do in order to take care of what he thought was his responsibility, and go through 16, 17, 18 years of paying child support, and then to come to find out that that child wasn't his. Now, like I said, I was raised different in you know, my viewpoint. If I loved those kids, if I felt like those kids were mine, I would ask for the money back. But we're talking right or wrong. We're not talking about a person's personal how they feel.
Yes.
In the court system, yes, he would be right to get every penny of that money back.
Absolutely.
Wow. Cassandra, what do you?
Hey, Raheem, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you something, and this may be just in Michigan, but I'm gonna show you how evil systems can be. A guy that I work with, wife cheated on him. He caught her. She got pregnant. He divorced her. he had to pay child support for that kid. And everybody got here.
Why?
Because she got pregnant while they were married.
No, that's a slippery slope right there, brother. Cassandra,
True story.
Yeah,
True story.
Absolutely. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Because that's something serious right there. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
No, but
That could cause some death.
In many states, that's the law. So I know that happened in South Carolina several years ago. I'm in my hometown in Charleston, and yeah, the husband had to pay child support for that child, even though the child belonged to another man.
Hold on now. So hold on, Cassandra, hold on.
Yes, they were married.
No, hold on. So basically, what you're saying is, hold on, Cassandra. Cassandra, hold on 1 second. So basically, what I'm hearing both of y'all say is the biological father just got off the hook for nothing. Now he made his child, and he got off the hook.
Yeah. I mean, that's the law back then. Now I don't know what they may have changed it in South Carolina since then because it was a big deal. They went through. There was a lot of court stuff going on.
That's horrendous.
But at that time, this was maybe 8-9 years ago. That husband had to pay for that child, even though he knew it was not his biological child. So
that's traumatizing.
You can put yourself in some crazy situations, and I don't know. I guess we just got to do better. We got to live according to the word of God. I'm just.
Amen.
Others, I mean, I'm really hard on women because I'm a woman and I deal with them. I know how they act. I know how they do things, man. And I'm so sick of these young women having 5, 6, 7 babies that the state takes care of because Johnny Blow moved on right after he did what he had to do. But she's responsible for her body. You understand? The woman is responsible for her body. You should take better care of yourself. And I don't want you to have sex at all. But if you're sleeping with these people, at least take care of yourself, protect yourself. And if it's not the babies, there's AIDS and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Exactly.
To go with that.
Exactly. I'm going to Donna and then I'm going to Bishop. Donna, what's on your heart behind this, man? That's having to pay for another man's child, and they know that it's not his child. Donna, that something don't set right with me with that.
Well, let me just go out. Okay, let's just say that you meet a woman. She has a child. You got a child with her, but she already has a child. When you step into that household, you're supposed to be the man of the house, right? Right?
Yeah.
So that's your child too. I don't care. It doesn't, because you probably will wind up with a child that has a father that's not taking care of. So what you gonna do?
Well, see, I look at that as being.
And I know I took a different direction.
Yeah, because that's a choice.
But that's what I thought about. I know I'm not saying if you pay 10, 12, 18 years and you find out that's not your child.
Yeah.
But that's an issue. That's an issue. Yeah. Yeah, you probably knew it because you don't look like you. You don't act like you.
Some judges tell you to feed him. Some judges tell you to feed him.
Now that's a hurting thing.
Some judges will tell you to feed him until you look like it.
But you'll never get that money.
Shut up.
Hey, look again. Some judges will tell you to feed him until you look like it. Keep feeding him. He'll look like he's doing enough. Keep feeding him.
You're crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. He gonna start walking like you, talking like you. Look at then you'll have a sense of ownership because he belongs to you. Let me see, Bishop. What's on your heart, Bishop?
Yeah, you gonna keep up. You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I say
saying some great things.
I say, Bishop, what's on your heart? I said, Bishop, what's on your heart? Then he said, you talking to me? Okay.
Leave him alone. That's my buddy.
Yes, sir.
I got your back.
There you go.
I was there. I'm good, son.
Who?
Anna.
She sang a song Good Sunday.
Oh, yeah, he sung good. It wasn't bad at all. That is true. And you guys should have heard that message. It was a really good message. I tuned into a few of them this weekend.
The message was good. The message was good up to the same.
He sung a few times.
Some got in him. I don't know what it was. Some got in him. But Bishop, what about that, man? Because you married and your wife go out there and she have an affair, get pregnant, but the judge tell you that you have to pay for child support for a child. Y'all split up. Y'all got a divorce because of the adultery. Y'all got a divorce because of that. Everybody knows that there was adultery going on. Now he's telling you that because you are married, you have to pay child support for 18 years for a child that everybody knows, you, her, him, the guy that did it, and everybody else, that child is not yours. Bishop, something ain't right with that now.
Yeah, the judge will make you pay primarily because you, at the time the affair was going on, y'all were married, you lived in the same house. So he's going to hold you responsible for that situation. And that can be denied, and that's why it's the media in a situation like that to do what's called a DNA test. And when you go to court, you present that to the judge. Right now, that's just lip. Well, you didn't produce any information that will validate the fact that this was not your child. So because you have the same last name, you're married, you live in the house at the time of the affair, that's why the judge holds you responsible. Is it fair? Absolutely not. It is not fair that a man be subject to take care of another man's child.
Absolutely.
In that fashion.
Exactly.
However, everything that everyone is saying, I know for a fact or know that it happens, man, because it happened in my family. And the man was doing what he needed to take care of the child, which was his. And he was taking care of his child and giving a certain amount of money. But later, and he was giving more than what the court probably would have been ordering him to do. But she wanted to get greedy. She wanted to come back on him and get more money. Her friends said, girl, he's getting more money. Go hit him for child support. When he went before the judge reduced the amount that he was paying, not by court order. He was just paying it.
This is Cassandra Alexander Green with Cloud Ministry.
Go ahead.
And after it was all said and done, the judge reduced the amount that the man was paying. And now she coming up on the short end of the stick said, well, dog, I messed up. Yeah, you did. You messed up. So in so many ways.
Greed to do it every time, Bishop.
What the father was doing.
Greed to do it every time.
You got greedy because you need to get your nails done.
Yeah, greed to do it every time. I tell you, greed will do it every time. Anna, what's on your heart?
How can you commit adultery in your marriage? And this is for all women. Have some dignity, okay? How can you commit adultery in your marriage for whatever reason? I guess it couldn't be worked out. That's between y'all and God, okay? But you have a child out of wedlock, yet you still turn around and put your ex-husband on child support for your sin? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's unacceptable in any, I've never even heard of anything like that's insane. Like I would be so upset. Like I would find an attorney. I would find a way. Trust me, I would change laws. I'm going to hold rallies because there's no way you're ever going to turn around and have me have to pay for a child that isn't mine. And not to say, no, don't get me wrong. I love children and whatever, but it was already a huge stab in the heart for you to turn around and cheat on me. Who knows how long, who knows? Okay, so let's forget all of that. But then the other stab to add to that is there's another child, a child that isn't mine. But then a third stab that I got to pay child support. Who knows how long, because some states, it's different in every state. Okay. And
minimum
you're just
18 years. Minimum 18 years.
Exactly, minimum of 18 years. And most of them, I'm sure, are going to take you to court right away. I wasn't one of those mothers. But with that being said, so you turn around and then you have to pay child support for this child. And you have to remember for the next at least 18 years, well, probably for the rest of your life, that this isn't your child and you had all this money to pay. You mothers, or you women should never, and I'm a woman, should never even take that man to court. Shame on you for doing that. And that woman should have stood there in front of that judge and fought for that man to the very end, because it was not his fault she committed adultery. That was her and her lustful desires. Let's say it how it is.
Good deal. Kurt, what's on your heart, man? She go out there, she cheat, get pregnant. You heard the scenario, get pregnant. Because of the fact that you all are married, y'all get divorced because of the adulterous situation that she did. Now you go to court and the judge say, look here, that's your child. You're gonna pay child support for this child. Y'all, we're going to grant you the divorce, but you will pay child support for this child that you know is not yours.
No way.
Kurt, how does that set, brother?
Kurt's laughing. He said he in pain. And I bet you AJ won't let him pay either. AJ will have his back. She'll be like,
You know what, man? I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. If I ain't got no other kids, I'm telling you now, I probably look over. Hey, baby, you got that money on my books? Because that judge gonna get a piece of my mind to where he gonna probably hold me in contempt. You know? And he gonna lay me down for 30 days. And be honest with you, I'm not.
It'll be a 30 days well spent though, because I'm not paying it.
I'm not paying it. I'm not paying it. Period. I'm not paying it. No. And then what I'll do is I'll have my lawyer not only file an injunction on the judge, but my lawyer file. Hey, we gotta appeal this.
I know that's right.
You got the right to appeal. You don't have to take that first initial bid that they put up on the table. They asked y'all, okay, because I was ready to go to work there before I got this job. They was like, both of them was on the bound, you know what I'm saying, on the scale. And I was like, okay, which one should I take? And they had kind of walked me through the process. Once that amount come out on the table, they throw that on the table, and the representative is supposed to ask both of you, is this good? And if you say, yeah, all right, that's cool, that's good. And she say, yeah, that's cool, that's good. Then both of y'all agree. See, that representative or that judge is realistically not supposed to be waiving. No, he's not supposed to be putting out his opinion or he's supposed to be a mediator to the process to make sure that the process is done according to the law. He's not supposed to be saying, oh, well, you going to do, and you go. Nah, he's supposed to just mediate to create a balance for both parents to exist in the same space positively. So I'm not paying it, bro. I'm telling you that now. I'm not paying it. I pray for you. I swear I pray for you. If man.
But you got to understand, during the time you're protesting and not paying it, your arrears are going up. And
I don't care. Guess what? I'll be like my grandmama used to say. I had my grandma, Martin Luther King said this. This is my grandma, Martin Luther King said. She said, baby, as long as you owe them, they'll never go broke. I'm not paying them, man. That ain't right. I don't care how you flip that. No.
But that's your wife, Kurt. You married this woman. You married this woman. She's your wife. And because of the fact, because of the fact that's your wife, that all these kids come out of this union that y'all have. All the union, look here. Everything that come out of this marriage that you have with her belongs to you. You're the man, like I said, you're the man of the house. You are her husband. So any child that she have is your child.
No, it don't work like that, no. Come on, it don't work like that.
But look here, if you married, that's your wife, man. How you gonna sit here and come to this court and say that your wife's child is not yours.
You know what? I might even tell a judge right here, hey man, you tell me the truth. That's your baby. I might accuse him of being the one that man, come on, man. Man, he shouldn't even be a judge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, he should not wear a robe. Because certain, how can I put this? There's a certain, people won't disagree when I say this, but there's a certain level of honesty and what's the word I'm looking for? Equal rights under the law that a judge is supposed to exhibit at all times. A judge is not supposed to be biased in his opinions. It's supposed to be straight law based. I need you to explain to me where, oh my God, we're going to go in. I need you to explain to me where that law at in the book that say I'm supposed to pay this. I need to know exactly what case file it came from. I need to know the dissenting opinion as well as the conjoining opinion. This, oh no, man, I'm not paying. No, man, and it
came from right here. It came from when you said, "I do."
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Raheem, you better stop it, because
yeah, okay.
If I was a man, that ain't happening.
That's your wife. That's your wife. Donna,
what the response is, Raheem?
What's that?
What you said? It's say what you just said that last day. You said again.
No, you ain't set me up, man. You ain't set me up.
What he said? It came from I do.
I do, yeah.
And I would look him right in his face and say, and it's going to be, I won't. That's how we going to do that. You can go and call a bailiff right now. Tell him, go and put me in these cuffs. Ride up out here, man. No, and AJ ain't going to let me do that anyway.
Exactly.
Go to jail.
Thugging it out, man. Thugging it out.
What you say? Oh, Lord, there'd be a whole lot of Spanish spoke in that courtroom that day.
Donna, what's on your heart, Donna?
That's true, for real.
Hold on, Anna. Go ahead, Donna.
I knew a judge that if you show up with in court and you had gold teeth in your mouth and your children wasn't taken care of, he'd make you go to the dinner. He would say, his quote was, you're gonna take care of my children. So he felt like all of them was his kids. But here's what confuses me. Not really confuses me, but nobody's thinking about the children, but time the man or the woman starts another relationship, either the woman is more adamant about putting him on child support, or the man stop paying child support because the woman has another man. And then what confuses me is he got a job, she put him on child support, and he quit. How does it work out?
Yeah.
While the child suffers.
And see, that's the whole thing. The focus has, to some degree, been shifted away from the children. Everybody, mutual line. We got some background noise coming from somebody's line. Mutual line for me. But yeah, and that's the thing right there, man. We've taken the focus off the children. Frank, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Frank, you there? We might have lost Frank. I thought we just had him on there for a second ago. Okay, that's cool. Bishop, what's on your heart?
Listening to these, I like Frank. I mean, I really love it. And I would have to be the same way. You wouldn't have been labeled some man. And now you want to come bring this baby to me. No, I can't do it. I'm not going to be vile and mean and evil. But I don't see me spending one dime to take care of a child from some guy that you took out and went out there and laid up with. And I guess, Frank, they're going to get mine and yours, on bail, bro. Because, most of that will be in contempt of court.
Okay. You mean
I know
you mean Curtis?
You give it divine, but then stupid is a whole other different story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna be stuck on stupid as it relates.
But see, that's gonna be a long time. That's gonna be a lot of arrests going on, man. Because they're gonna arrest you for their contempt, and then they're gonna arrest you again for not paying your child support. Then they're gonna suspend your license and all kind of things going along with that, man. They do all this child support system is kind of corrupt. They're gonna suspend your license. You ain't gonna be able to drive. You ain't gonna be able to go to work. It's gonna affect you in a whole lot of different ways, man. It's gonna affect you in a whole lot of different ways.
It will, but you know that commercial, one call, that's all. I'll be making that one call.
Good deal. Good deal. Franco, you back with us?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right. What's on your heart, man? You done brought this thing to the equation, man. Man, what's on your heart right now?
Yeah, man, that was a tough one. When that brother came to me almost in tears and said not only did he catch his wife cheating, but found out that she was pregnant, he's gonna have to pay for that man's baby. That was man, that was a tough one. But you know, I think that the origin of the law had good intent. It's just once again, it's a loophole.
Yeah.
You know, because what the law was saying that any child that comes out of this union will be taking care of the mother and the father. They didn't expect for the mom or the dad. Well, it doesn't work with the dad, but they didn't expect for the mother to go out and get pregnant by some other man.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't account for that. You know, but it's still on the books here in Michigan. It's still, but that's a dangerous one right there, right here. Dangerous.
But see, at the same time, you got to understand some people mentally can't handle a situation like that, and if the judge,
I agree.
And if the judge say something to them along those lines, they can want to do something to either the mother, the other guy, or even that child. So you put a lot of people in harm's way because the mental stability that an individual have or do not have. I mean, you can have a lot of people getting hurt. Kurt, what do you say to that about the medical? You being on the social worker side, what do you say to that, Kurt? Because some people just can't deal with that.
Some people can't deal with what exactly?
The reality of having to take care of. First, you went out there, you cheated on me. You actually gone against the union that we have. You disrespected them. Now, in your adulterous situation, a child is born. Now I'm divorcing you, and because of the fact that I'm divorcing you now, we go to court for this, and now the judge is telling me that I have to pay for a child that you and some other man made outside of our marriage. Some people can't. That's a lot for a lot of people to hold on to grasp, and it could make somebody snap and go after her, go after the man, or even try to do something to that child, because some people mentally just can't deal with that, man. What do you say to that from the social worker side?
No, that is from a place of human behavior. Most people won't even take into account that will happen, Raheem. Of course, everybody on this phone know what risk assessment is.
Yes.
Okay. And everybody on this phone know what quality control, quality assurance is. In certain fields, we forget about those things because we think that those things don't apply. When in reality, they actually do. Just by law, they don't. Because you do something like that to somebody, this man or this woman, well, this man, in this case, this man already feels demoralized and betrayed. He already feels that by the person that is closest to him, his wife. Okay, so he has enough mental capacity to say, okay, I'm going to let the system deal with this, as opposed to me dealing with it. Because see, if I deal with this, it's not going to be a good look. So I'm going to let the system deal with this. So somewhere subconsciously and or consciously, he puts a certain amount of trust in the system to set this thing straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's betrayed again by the system.
Yes.
So now, if you have been, some men ain't gonna lay down and stay down.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have knocked him down when you had this baby, you dig? But now he done figured, okay, look, let me just get a lawyer. Let me file for my divorce. That means he's picking himself back up.
Mm-hmm.
The whole while he picking himself back up, he's holding on to the system because he filed the court filing for the divorce.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the process comes, and I'm trying to break this down so you know what I mean, because like I could use terms and all that, but we need to break this down so people can understand it. So now, as he's getting up, because you know he filed this paperwork, the system is helping him up.
Mm-hmm.
The process happens, and the system rules against him. In this particular situation, that's like you just punch me in the mouth, knock me down, reach your hand down to pick me up, and as you was picking me up, you bang me in the mouth again and put me back down there.
Mm-hmm.
So that would create an emotional response that would not surprise me if that in that courtroom where that judge made that ruling, if that young lady lawyer ain't smart enough to go it on and tell her to go sit by the bailiff or go sit on the far side of the court, stay away from his family,
Mm-hmm.
somebody might get hurt, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And see that the thing about it, and I'm coming to you, then we're gonna go back to the phone lines. Anna, what is on your heart, man? Because from a lady, from a female standpoint, Anna, that's not right.
Absolutely, it's not right. Kurt made a good point, because if that was my son, my brother, I am a Christian, I am a co-pastor, and I wear a lot of hats. I might lose it there for a second because of the unfairness. I don't want to use certain words on air, but because of your adulterous ways, now my family member has to deal with, your ways. If Frank is still on air, is he still on air listening?
Yes.
Frank, I interviewed somebody named Royce Kinnebraw. I can get you in contact with him. I think it was about a few weeks back, right? That was maybe a month ago, I think, give or take. Mm-hmm. He's running for Congress in Michigan. I know it's in the southern part for congressional seat. I can probably get in contact with him, see if we can change laws there. You said this is in Michigan, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yes, maybe we can get together with him, because I'm on the men's side on that, because that's just, I mean, to me, I think what makes it worse, that's one of those situations where you gotta raise that child on your own. That's one of those situations where I wouldn't even ask for anything because I know I was in the wrong. Yeah. And morally, and I just think ethically, there's just a whole bunch that goes in there for you to even take that money. Like, I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I wouldn't be surprised. Some people can get so upset. A man, especially, not only are you now dealing with PTSD, the heartache, and everything else, mm-hmm. A man is liable of killing somebody. That's dangerous.
Exactly.
That's very dangerous. So something for you men to think, or you women to think about. And then just don't take him to court.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, Anna. Hold on, Anna.
I'm sorry. That's wrong. It's wrong.
It is. Hold on. Kurt, you wanted to say something. Frank, I'm coming back to you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you always talk about cases real quick. So I want to know how the women feel about this. You got child support. You're getting child support from your ex-husband for your kids. He paying it. He paying it as best he can. Sometimes he might fall behind, but he catch it up. You get the taxes, all that, right? You hit bad times and you don't have nowhere to stay. So, okay, look, I'm allowed for you to come and stay with me, right? I'm allowed you to come and stay with me. You come and stay with me, bring the kids and everything, because I don't want y'all on the street. While you stand with the ex-husband, you get a child support case. Bingo. All right, so break it down for him, man. So you get a child support case. Y'all go to the child support people. The child support people raise his child support. And then, of course, like I said earlier, they got to ask you, okay, do y'all agree?
No, I don't agree.
Check this out. The first thing she say is, now this is a real thing that happened to somebody. The first thing the female said was, the ex-wife said, was, yeah, I agree. They raised the child support tremendously, but they didn't know that she was living in the house with him and had been living
abuse
6 to 7 months. So y'all know what that dude did in there, right?
Well, yeah, I can just imagine.
Lost it, right? He disagreed. He lost it, and in losing it, he put her on blast in front of the rep. How you gonna do that? You living with me. They didn't know that she was living with him, and he wasn't going to tell them that she was living with him. He was expecting for her to either tell him, look, we don't really need to charge him that much no more.
Absolutely.
He's trying to do the best he can, right? Or let it stay the same. But they raised it and she agreed with it. I wonder how people feel about that, because when I found out about it, I'm gonna tell you now, the uttermost contempt for that person, because it's like, yo, come on, man.
My question is, end result, Kurt, what happened in the end though? After he told what happened and for 6 months, what happened with that case?
What happened was the child support, they threw that case out like she didn't get the raise. They rebutted that. She didn't get the raise. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they actually took it down some.
Yeah.
See, that was all up to that rep. You might get a rep. You might get a female rep.
I'm going to tell you, Kurt, I'm going to tell you something. In a situation like that, and y'all please hear my heart when I say that. My kids can stay there, but you got to go. My kids can stay there, but you got to go. Because if that's the way that you feel about
I see.
If that's the way you feel about this whole situation, and I'm trying to do everything I can do to help you, and you're gonna stab me I can't trust you to be in my house.
Absolutely.
Trust you. So the kids can stay. The kids don't have to go. Kids can stay, and I'm gonna take care of the kids. I'm just the way I always gonna take care of the kids. Ain't nothing changed with them. They good. The kids are good. But y'all get your hat, get your coat. And the door right over there.
Right.
I'm just
your suitcase too. Don't forget the suitcase. Don't forget.
Man, boy, look at him. Bishop, what's on your heart, brother? We got to get out of here, man. It's 9:04. What's on your heart, Bishop?
Man, I've heard so much, and I empathize with those who talk in that situation. But the moral is, women, be careful. Don't go out and try to mess a man up, get pregnant, try to hit his child support when you know it ain't his baby. But if it is his baby, then try to act amicably with him to work out, conditions wherewith he can carry his child without the court getting involved. Because as you said, Rain, they can get arrested, they can lose their job, and it becomes a domino effect. Because how can I pay child support if I'm locked up?
Exactly.
And if I lose my job in the process. So think before you do, and make sure we do what we can to render the needs for the children. And mamas, get out yourself and get out the way. And I'm gonna say daddies too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say daddies too. So anyway, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Donna Toussaint, what's on your heart? Then Frank, I'm coming to you. Then we're gonna get on out of here. Donna Toussaint, what's on your heart?
Now we just have to just try to make sure it's about the children, whatever the case may be, because we got to stop this foolishness.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's not about the dollar. it's about time that we spend with them, trying to raise them.
Mm-hmm.
We got time, you know, and some people fall in hard times. So whatever the case may be, let's make it about the children.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Frank, talk to me.
You know, we've had this conversation for these last couple hours, and I always say, let's go back to the beginning. Let's take our time, man, in choosing the people that we have children with. Let's really not just haphazardly or casually have sex with just any and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's stop this thing now in 2020. Let's not keep going down this road. And let's, you know, the one thing that sex outside, well, it is sex because it's something totally different when you're intimate with your wife. But when we are intimate with people that we're not married to, and then when we get married and we don't have the intentions of sticking and staying, and we're bringing these children into the world, this is the fruit of it.
Yeah.
And we can blame the child support. We can blame the courts. We can blame Bob and everybody else. But the one thing that I always tell people, man, you know, when I grew up and in the area that I grew up in, there was heroin addicts. And man, they looked so crazy. Their hands was all swole up, and you catch them, some of them be somewhere nodding and falling asleep while you're talking to them, and they look so horrible. I never could understand, how could you go and do dope after, you know, your whole life you saw these cats looking like this? But I say the same thing to people that see these relationships and see these kids damaged. How can we continue to do the same thing when we see the fruit of that? Mm-hmm. Let's just please stop it. So, you know, we stop getting to this place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Anna, what's on your heart before we get out of here?
Let's keep some things in mind. And this is to everybody as family members. I would, as a mother, show and teach my children to try to, first of all, cooperate as co-parents. I think that's most important for the mental health of the child. That is always most important. Second of all, if it comes to this point, because I tried doing the co-parenting thing, but what can you do when the other parent leaves to a whole different country? The absent parent left to Puerto Rico, what was I supposed to do? So in those situations, you're kind of stuck carrying everything all on your own. So like I say, when the co-parenting is not something you're able to do, just take them to court, take them to, you know, you have no choice at this point. See, I think that's why this whole child support system was made, for people like that, that don't, you know, have a care in the world. However, we have then the moms or the dads that just, okay, you don't want to be with me, you want to run the streets, you want to get a nice car, you want to, I guess, go get gold teeth. I mean, why should they take your gold teeth at court? I don't understand that. But that's not one thing having to do with another. So if you're dealing with stuff like that, then I think at that point, then yes, child support should be honored. But I don't think it was made for people that are responsible. If you're vindictive, get over it. Get over it, because the child has nothing to do with it. Be mature and go seek mental help for both of you adults and that child or those children, because it's not fair to them. And especially those mothers that get an incredible amount, which we didn't get to that part of the conversation. That's a child doesn't need that much money to live. You know that you're living off of that money. And those are the moms I think you were talking about, not so much the one that gets $30 a week. Yeah. You can't do much with $30 a week. You know what I'm saying? So something to keep in mind.
Good deal. Well, listen, I'm looking at the clock, y'all. It's 9:10 time for us to get out of here. Anna, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
At 3 o'clock, if you missed this incredible show this morning, you can watch it. You can watch it in its entirety at dkmradio.com.
Good deal. Now, y'all know that we're here. Just a friendly invitation. You know that we're here every day with the Morning Glow from 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Sometimes we go a little bit over as we did today. But I like to think we have great conversation, great dialogue, and a great cast. We all come together, man. We have a good time. We talk openly and honestly about the topics that we have. So make sure that you make yourself available. Make sure you make yourself available if you can. And come and join us every day right here, Monday through Friday from 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Kirk, can I get you to pray us out, brother?
Sure. Our hearts and minds clear, most gracious and heavenly Father, we humbly submit our mind, bodies, and spirits unto you, knowing it is from you from which cometh our help, Father. Father, we come right now not asking you for anything, but thanking you for all things, Father. Father, we come right now thanking you for the trials, the tribulations, the situations, and the circumstances. Father, we come right now thanking you because without you, nothing is possible, God. Father, we thanking you because you always stand in the gap, Father. When we sick, you're standing in the gap, Father. When we emotionally hurt, you're rubbing our minds, Father. When we just don't know which direction to go, Father, you leading us. Father, when we don't know how to deal with our kinfolk, Father, you place your love and your compassion right there in the middle of it. Father, we thanking you. Father, we thanking you for just waking us up this morning, starting us on our way, for blessing us with another day. Father, we thanking you. Father, we thanking you for watching over our children as they slumbered last night, Father. For some of them may have not said one prayer before they went to bed, but Father, we thanking you because you stood right there. When the devil tried to come in, you stood right there. When the devil tried to take over, you stood right there. Father, we thanking you. Father, we thanking you for just allowing for us to still have good nourishment in our bodies, Father. Father, for without you, we would all be going through a famine, Father. And we thanking you for just keeping us fed. Father, we thanking you for keeping us clothed. Father, we thanking you for keeping us walking, talking, breathing, and understanding what life is really about. God, we thanking you. We thanking you for all the things that you have done, all the things that you are doing, and all the things that you plan to do in the future. Father, we just send up this prayer of understanding, this prayer of thankfulness, this prayer and in asking for forgiveness. Father, we send it up in the mighty name of Yeshua. I say this prayer in the mighty name of Yeshua. We believe this prayer, and in the mighty name of Yeshua, we will live this prayer. Thank you, God. In Yeshua's name, amen.
Amen. Good deal. Good deal.
Amen.
It is now 9:14. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Now take some of this light out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. We're gonna get out of here today. Y'all have a great day and take an opportunity to love someone.
Bye.